in midfield. And it'll be interesting to see if they play this 3-4-3 formation on the screen. So some final moments. Amanda, what are these moments like just before kickoff as you huddle together? We always see them. What is it like to be part of it?
I think everybody's just thinking that I need to do my best, I need to play my role to make sure that the team goes through all the way to the finish line. But of course, like I said, it's always just that first pass, that first move of action. It does really give you the confidence.
So the stage awaits, and before kickoff takes place, there will be minutes silence to mark the death on Thursday of the former Nigeria captain and goalkeeper Peter Rufai, a mainstay of those wonderful Nigerian sides of the early 90s. He was 61 when he passed away.
Please stand for a minute of silence in honor of legendary Nigerian goalkeeper Peter Rufai.
So the minute's silence is over. What an imposing figure he was, Rufai, and what a team he played in. Morocco will be kicking us off, playing from left to right in their red jerseys, green shorts and red socks. Zambia from right to left in their copper top and socks and black shorts. As ever, the countdown clock makes it very clear what is about to happen. What are we going to see over the next 3 weeks? We are about to find out. Well, we saw Morocco do so well in the last competition, Amanda. A lot of people talk about the pressure of playing at home. It can work in both ways. How do you see the pressure on this side? They've already had the experience of 3 years ago. Is it going to be too much, or is it going to propel them to victory, do you think?
I think sometimes it becomes a little bit difficult to manage the home crowd or the home fans' expectations. But of course, I think the 12th man, as we saw in 2022, really helped Morocco really to spur them onto the final, breaking records where fans are concerned. But I guess this time around they really want to make sure that they finish at the top.
They certainly do, and no expense has been spared in their bid to do so as they try to get Chebak immediately involved down the left-hand side. Here's Banda. You can already see the power of the Zambian striker. What a run this is from Barbara Banda. Striker goal as well. Oh, she's only played in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations for a minute, and she has scored a goal. We talk about Banda breaking records. She has done it again. Well, they didn't take kick off the Copper Queens, and they already lead. What a start for Zambia, and what a moment for Barbara Banda. She has waited and waited for this moment, and when it came, she had one idea: charge a goal. And Mishi may look back and think she may have done better, but what a moment for Barbara Banda.
What a moment from Barbara Banda, the captain, leading by example, taking her chance. The speed that she uses, incredible control of the ball, but also taking advantage of just the slowness or the slow defense of Morocco, really making sure that she makes that one count.
Incredible stuff from the reigning CAF Women's Footballer of the Year. She said she was so excited to play in the tournament yesterday. What a remarkable introduction it is, and that will be remembered for many, many years. She wanted to make her mark. She was unable to play 3 years ago in a row over her eligibility, and now she is on the pitch, and she's given what many fans of African football will have wanted to see as Morocco instantly come up the other end and win a corner. They will want to get themselves back into this as early as they can. Chibak standing over it. So too Fatima Tagnaut. Two of the key players in this Atlas Lionesses side. How will they respond, and can they do so early on? A real shock to the system already delivered by the Copper Queens. Tagnaut. Up it goes, headed on, and it's cleared after a little bit of a scramble. And in the end, an infringement spotted. It was Nuhaila Benzina wearing the hijab who got the knock to put it into the middle. But then Nabada, the referee, wasn't happy, and Zambia will have a time to actually get their foot on the ball for the first time in the game, despite the fact that they lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, indeed, a great start from Zambia. But this is one of the elements that Zambia need to watch for, those aerial duels and the set pieces that Morocco can really pose a threat.
They can indeed. When they look long, well, that's asking a lot of Tagnaut, who often pops up on the left-hand side, but is starting this. There she is, wearing 11. The 26-year-old. Really good balls in. Dynamic winger, who is undoubtedly going to cause problems to a Zambian backline, missing one of their mainstays of recent years, Martha Tembo, out with suspension. As it comes into the middle, Draidi on the turn to Chibak, and that's a really important block, because that was goal-bound from Gislan Chibak. And it was an important bit of defending as well. Well, we hope that this game was going to be exciting and deliver a promising and lively start, and with less than 5 minutes played, it is more than delivered on that, and it promises plenty to come.
Yeah, I think it's going to test the character of the Moroccans now, to really see how they are efficient when they have to chase, starting on the back foot.
The drums beat out as Morocco win a free kick just a few yards inside the Zambian half. Irene Lungu, a key figure in the heart of that midfield for the Copper Queens. With the infringement, as we see, Zambia's coach Nora Hauptele, 41 years of age, appointed in January, and remarkably, she qualified Ghana for this competition. And then, as said, just 6 months or so ago, she chose to take up the opportunity to lead Zambia. And why not? They were third 3 years ago. They have incredible players valued the world over in the likes of Banda and Kundananji. And they played, of course, so well. They are a rising force and a real challenge for any coach. And I imagine she can only be licking her lips with this quality of player that she's working with.
Of course, I think it's just to really try and help where she can, in terms of advancing the likes of Barbara Banda, getting into the spaces, and for the team to work as a unit.
And unity is one of the buzzwords in the Zambian camp. Love, unity and passion. These are the three values we want to be recognised for. She said in the press conference ahead of the match yesterday, the Swiss coach. She is incidentally the first woman and the first foreign coach to ever lead Zambia at a WAFCON. So far, I can only imagine she is very, very happy with the start made by her side. Zambia at the back with Blessing Maluba. And that's wayward, and it's picked up by Yasmin Mrebat to the left-hand side. Sakina Ouswari trying to make some progress down that left-hand side, unable to do so. Well, since the goal, it's been a lot of play for the Moroccans. It could change here, but that's an important tackle won by Hanan Ait El Haj. Tagnaut. Rabet just rolls it across the back. Chibak, a nice little touch from her, and then she just fights hard to hold on to it as well. Promising this from Morocco. Draidi, we've already seen it once on the turn. Will they get a shot away? Well, there's a player down in the area. The fans are screaming for a penalty, as are some of the players, their arms outstretched. But nothing doing so far from Shamira Nabada. VAR, of course, being used at this tournament, as we saw shortly before kickoff. But still, no sign of anything as the whistles ring out inside the Olympic Stadium. And Banda, whose goal separates the side, plays it over the top. And now there is a hold in play. That was a nice ball through. And there is a decision here for Nevada because she has clearly got a word in her ear. A hold up in play while play was going on. Dissatisfaction from both sets of players. How do you cope with these sort of decisions when you're on the pitch?
I think it'll be very difficult indeed for the referee, but she certainly needs to take her time. She's got the support of VAR. But for players, I think Badri was just looking for that soft touch in that penalty area. Good combination play from Morocco. This just shows how effective they can be when they do go with the combination passes into the final third.
Well, we've already seen them get one shot away on goal. Blocked, and they are looking threatening. We saw some wonderful football from the Moroccans 3 years ago, and still we wait. And still the VAR looks into this. Well, this is the first ever meeting between these sides as she makes the signal of going to the screen, as you can hear from the crowd. That has been fantastically received. It'll be very interesting to see the contact here. She's briefly going out of screen, but you can see her just in the centre of your picture, right at the bottom. Morocco will wish for a lifeline and a way back in. They actually scored a couple of penalties in the group stages last time around. Chebak with the goals. Well, we have yet to see a replay, so we are slightly in the dark. And she is still watching on, I can tell you, even though you can't see her. Taking a closer look. The Ugandan official. And taking her time, and meanwhile it's important for the players to keep warm. Breaks in play, often causing problems. Well, the VAR decision has been taken, and what will it be? Mounting expectation inside the Olympic Stadium. All eyes on the referee, and she points to the spot. And Morocco have a penalty. And instantly, really interestingly, Rachel Kindananji rushes over to her goalkeeper, Musole, to pass on some advice. Chebak had a penalty saved at the Women's World Cup in 2023. But that said, she scored twice from the spot in the group stages. Rosella Ayan also firing home from 12 yards last time around. But this is here and this is now. And the Moroccan captain has the responsibility of drawing her side level after that blistering start from Zambia. It's not going to be Chebak, instead it's going to be Draidi to take this. Ibtisam Draidi fires into it, and the crowd are up in arms, punching the air, and it didn't take Morocco long to get level, just 10 minutes or so. She absolutely roofs that to the 32-year-old. She'll be delighted to get off the mark. Draidi, she had to settle for bit part role 3 years ago, but she's leading the line tonight, and she's got her first goal of the tournament as well.
Yeah, well taken penalty. She had to hold her nerve because this was a crucial moment for Morocco to get back into the game. But Draidi, a very familiar moment, very familiar scenario. She did the exact same thing during the warm-up match against Tanzania. She stepped up and she converted calmly so.
2 goals, and we've only played 12 minutes. Well, Zambia, they certainly play in high-scoring games. And there was that incredible 6-5 game at the Paris Olympics last year. Kundananji on the charge. Aitel Haj dispossessing her. It's loose in midfield. Wilombe just playing it back to Rachel Nachula. And Mwemba looks long and forward to the powerful powering run of Barbara Banda, but that's just hit too long. And Michi in the Moroccan goal can actually also take a little bit of time. This game has started at an incredible pace.
Indeed, this is what we expected from these two power household names. Of course, silver medalists and bronze medalists, they're certainly fighting it out, and it's important to really try and top the group so they understand the importance of starting on a high and making sure they get maximum points.
They do, and this is surely, unquestionably, both sides' hardest game in Group A. Zambia take on Senegal on Wednesday, which is when the Moroccans host the Congolese, and then they finish a week today, Morocco against Senegal. Zambia taking on DR Congo, and it is also surely the tie of the group phase, this opening game, as Amanda Dlamini, the former South Africa international, says. Morocco runners-up 3 years ago. Zambia finished third when beating no less than 9-time African champions Nigeria in the third-place playoff. Prior to the 2022 WAFCON, neither Morocco nor Zambia had ever even got out of the group stage in the competition. There's a player down on the floor, but Wilombe instantly gets up, but Morocco striding forward, and that's just wayward. Kundananji will win her side, the throw-in. Just for a moment, they look to break on for Morocco.
Yep, I think it will be important for Zambia to really focus much more on the defensive units, getting the likes of Rachel to come back a little bit into that defensive block, because they focus so much on the transition in attack.
Achuda up long towards Banda, cannot win it on this occasion. Dispossessed by Ait El Haj. Mrabet just out to the left-hand side to Zineb Redouani, who we haven't seen too much of in these opening moments. Redouani made the best 11 3 years ago. Loves to get forward down that left flank. Wembley at the moment with work to do. Wilombe just trying to usher it forward, and then Nachuda as well. For the first time, I think, really in this game, the game has settled down a little bit, and a moment of calm. Benzina forward. Zambia with the free kick. Interesting to see Mrabet playing in the centre of the park, having been a centre-back 3 years ago, and now Jorge Vilda, the Spaniard who won the World Cup, the Women's World Cup 2 years ago, has devised a new role for her.
Yeah, a good tactical approach. I think she's not the quickest in that centre-back position, but of course she provides that rest defence for the likes of Chibak to have the comfort and ease to move forward and join in the attack.
Well, she was outstanding and had her moments, did Mrabet, scoring the winner in the quarter-finals against Botswana in 2022 to send the Atlas Lionesses not only into the semi-finals of the WAFCON, but also given that competition doubled as a qualifying competition for the 2023 Women's World Cup, into their first ever appearance at the Global Showpiece event as well. And they did impress there, Morocco, the first Arab nation ever to play at the finals. They got battered in their opening game, but how they responded, Morocco. 6-0 they were beaten by Germany, the second worst defeat for any debutant at the Women's World Cup. But then they beat Korea Republic by a goal to nil. Draidi converting after 6 minutes against the South Koreans, and then a nervy 1-0 win over Colombia in their final group game took them into the knockout phase. At the first time of asking, lots of tears on the Moroccan bench that day, but a really momentous occasion, and they're looking to build on that in this tournament, and of course what they did in 2022. It was a wonderful World Cup, and I should of course mention South Africa getting into the round of 16 as well, with the former Banyana international Amanda Dlamini beside me.
Yeah, proud moments indeed for Banyana to really just try and progress. I think it's just gradual steps, building blocks for African countries, especially after Nigeria, to really try and get into the knockout rounds.
it says a lot about the resilience as we see an injury to Draidi, the goal scorer. It says a lot about the resilience of the Moroccan side, though, doesn't it? You can rebound from such a heavy defeat and then have the mental capacity to eke out some wins. Both of them, as said, just by a 1-0, and make it through. And it was no surprise, and it was wonderful to see the tears all around. I remember Reynald Pedros, the coach, he was in tears. So many of the players were in tears. And we've seen Pedros here tonight in the stadium as we see the goal again from Banda, which Mishi certainly won't want to see again, because she certainly should have done better with that. But Pedros, he got them to the WAFCON final. He got Morocco into the second round of the Women's World Cup at the first time of asking, and yet still that wasn't enough for him to hold on to his job. And it says everything about the ambition of Morocco and their approach to women's football, that then they went to the man who actually won the Women's World Cup, as we see the equaliser from Draidi on our screen.
Yeah, I think they've been very intentional in what they're doing in terms of systems, investing in local players as well. Like Draidi, at the time, she was playing local football. She recently got a contract in Saudi. So it's quite important that they integrate all of those elements to make sure that Morocco does really come out as the powerhouse that we're really seeing them growing to be.
I remember 3 years ago we were talking about the amount of money they're investing, $20 million over a 4-year period. There are many male African nations on the continent who simply don't have that money at hand. And they are determined, the likes of Fouzi Lekja, the president of the Moroccan Federation, to make it to the top of this sport. And why not? This competition is putting them on the map. Morocco are looking dangerous now with Taknau down the left-hand side. Tries to play it inside, but it's just loses possession. And Wilombe just hacks it up towards the halfway line. And they've got their foot on the ball, and they've enjoyed far more of the possession since Banda's goal in the opening minute. Chebak just trying to get a toe hold on that, and well, the touch from Mwemba means that it's a throw-in to Morocco. I wonder what on earth he's made of the start. Jorge Vilda. He turns 44 on Monday. A man who can bring a huge amount of experience to this nation. Chebak plays it back into Ouzraoui. Ouzraoui just wins another corner for Morocco, which Ait El Hadj, the 30-year-old right back with Valencia in Spain, will take. Looking for options. She needs some movement in front of her, and she just touches it very, very short. And on this occasion, the ball just spinning, hitting the corner flag, and it'll be another throw in. Slow, stodgy. It's almost like they're making a few yards, but I think they just want to deliver this into the area. Zambia just doing enough, and they've really done well there, because they've won a goal kick and they can clear their lines, and they weathered that mini little bit of pressure down the right-hand flank.
Yep, but you can see how much it takes for the likes of Rachel to really drop that deep to try and assist in defense. It will be a little bit taxing on the legs, because she has to drop that far deep to try and stop the attack, but also she needs to be very useful up top to support the likes of Banda during the transition or counter-attack.
Chebak plays it back into Mrabet. Taknau just forced a little bit wider than she'd like to be. Redouani, little 1-2 between those two, who know each other so well, having played for many years together with the local club AS FAR, or Royal Armed Forces, a side which has many of the players in this team. 6 players from AS FAR starting tonight for Morocco, and it brings obviously huge fluidity, knowing how each other plays. Zambia could of course say the same. Many of their players have been together for many, many years, some since the Under-17 Women's World Cup back in 2014. So we are seeing 2 teams who really know what they're about, know how their teammates tick. You can see some of that more in the fluidity of Morocco at present than in Zambia.
Yep, I think it's always important for the coaches to strike that balance of the local players, but also the international experience.
Well, that's not fully cleared. And Banda will have a chance, and she just plays it back into Nachula. to the middle of the park for Maluba. Benzina with the header, but only as far as Banda. And Rabet will just play this back to Amishi. And Chebak. Patient, neat, tidy football this from Morocco. An emphasis on holding on to the ball. And they've, as said, had a lot more joy in doing so than the Zambians, who are far more direct. And like to play along early, which comes with the ability to lose the ball, as we've just seen that from Benzina, who holds her hand up to apologise. Yeah,
I don't think that was a necessary pass to make when they were just really trying to take the tempo, the ball rotation as well. And of course, Taknaut is not that tall. I think it's always better to just switch play on the ground, to try and rotate the ball to efficiency.
Well, there's been so much going on that I haven't told you how Zambia qualified. Morocco qualified automatically as hosts. Zambia made it through and beating Angola by 12 goals to 0 on aggregate in the second round, having received a bye after finishing third last time around. And this game really does represent an opportunity for Morocco to take some vengeance on their perhaps shock defeat against the Zambians last year. Not so much because they were beaten by the Copper Queens, but in qualifying for the Paris Olympics in April of last year, Morocco seemingly did the hard part. They went to Zambia, they won by 2-1, and then in the return leg here in Rabat, they trailed by 1-0 at 90 minutes. The game went to extra time, and Banda, who else, grabbed the all-important goal in extra time to clinched the tie for Zambia by 3-2, and thus ruin Morocco's hopes of appearing at the 2024 Olympics, as well, of course, of having played at the Women's World Cup just a year earlier. Ouzraoui, the 23-year-old based in Spain, loses out the familiar figure of Margaret Belemu. Belemu just playing it forward. Still, Zambia just struggling to hold on to the ball. Nice attempt from Tagnao just to flick it past her opposite number and go the other side, but this is going to be draining on the Zambian players if they keep on giving the ball away. Yep,
few misplaced passes here and there. They seem to be rushing because I guess Coach Nora really wants the team to have that gradual and patient build-up. But we know Zambia to be a very athletic team, very quick on the transition and counter-attack. So it's a little bit taxing for them at this moment to really try and adapt to a new sort of playing style.
They can certainly improve. At present, I would say second best to Morocco, certainly in terms of playing, but not on the scoreline, of course. And that is the thing that really counts. And they've got an opportunity here to deliver a ball into the Moroccan area for the first real time in the game. And hopefully find a way to test Amici once again in the Moroccan goal. 6 players on the edge of the area. In it comes. And it's a little bit scrappy, and Tagnao will get it away. Zambia win it back, and Gambo Musole played into Nachula, 39 years of age. The left back for Zambia really is impressive. Banda, nice touch from her, looking instantly into Kundananji, who can make it 2-1 for Zambia, and does. Superb stuff from the Copper Queens. Well, they are like a snake. They wait and wait and wait, and then they pounce and they strike. And that was just what we have come to expect from the top 2 Zambian players. Banda finding Kundananji, and the woman who was once the world's most expensive women's footballer ever made that look incredibly easy. And Zambia, with their second strike on goal, have their second goal, and they lead again.
Yeah, indeed, it all starts with just making sure that they pick up that second ball. Banda at the end of it. That's Kundananji, always just willing to race through that offside line. She runs perfectly off the shoulder. Very cool and calm, collected finish indeed.
Well, that was the really important bit, wasn't it? The strength shown by Banda to take it on her chest and muscle it away from Benzina. Then she had the composure to find Kundananji, and Kundananji, who's known for her composure herself, exemplified that in spades and just tucked it home. She got 3 goals in qualifying, the 25-year-old who plays in the United States with Bay FC. There must be a check because we're yet to get back underway, so I'm assuming that this might be looked at for offside. The ball in the centre circle, and you can see the thoughts of Hauptflit. And the Zambian fans, meanwhile, well, they don't know that. Well, I mean, they have some idea, but they're just celebrating the fact that they're ahead. The goal awarded, so Zambia confirmed leading by 2-1. And that is what we were hoping to see, Amanda Dlamini, wasn't it? That these two hugely significant figures in women's football combining to devastating effect.
Yeah, absolutely. They have to show the influence, they have to show the experience that they've gained over the years with international club football, and they are leading by example.
Well, instantly Morocco again are going up the other end, and it's a really important challenge coming in to dispossess Ouzraoui. Smart defending from Nachula. It's really interesting that you can see just that extra bite in the Moroccan approach to get forward as soon as they concede. And I was talking earlier about that 5-6 game that was played at the Paris Olympics last year by Zambia. They do regularly feature in incredibly high-scoring games, which might suggest that they're not the best at the back.
That's true. It's good that it's entertaining and they're scoring, they're clinical in front of goal. But of course, the defensive abilities as well, I think they show great frailty sometimes.
I mean, it's fearsome, isn't it, that if they can tighten up that defence, given the firepower that they have up top, I mean, they really could go a long, long way in this competition.
Yeah.
Some people's tips to go all the way. 12 teams here, of course. Nigeria will be smarting and desperate to win back the trophy that they last won in 2018. The 2020 WAFCON was cancelled because of the coronavirus pandemic. Morocco won it in 2022. The Super Falcons have now gone 6 years without winning the trophy, which is the longest ever in their remarkable reign in this competition. Meanwhile, South Africa, well, they will have every ambition of retaining the title. It took them so many years to win, and so much heartbreak as well, as we see Reynald Pedros, there you go on the left of your screen with the beard and the glasses, the man who really played a key role in providing the stepping stone for Morocco to develop. There's going to be a break in play for water, and let's just talk a little bit about South Africa, mentioning them there. You played in 4 WAFCONs. Sadly, you lost a couple of finals.
Yeah.
How do you rate the chances this time around of retaining their trophy?
I think by far South Africa is the most talented, and I think the technical ability where ball control is concerned. But I think it's just a different dynamic this time around. You're not chasing for the title, but the approach of defending a title is much more different. So I'm hoping that the likes of Coach Des, during the preparation leading up to WAFCON, she's tried a few tricks of the trade to try and use some of the players where versatility is concerned. But I do fancy to see them in the top 4.
You do indeed. And what about Nigeria? What are you expecting from them this time around? The obvious threat from Group B. Nigeria in a group with Botswana, Tunisia, Algeria, I should say. South Africa in a Group C with Ghana, Mali and Tanzania, but Nigeria are going to pose a huge threat, and Asisat Oshoala, who was injured last time around, now back and possibly desperate to make a big impact again. Yeah,
of course. I think Asisat would really want to be one of those players that get on the score sheets like the likes of Kundananji. But of course, I think their chances at this tournament, last tournament 2022, I thought they were a little bit disjointed. They were trying to sort of integrate some of the new players, international based, and the local players. This time around, I'm hoping that they can find or strike the balance.
But perhaps not when they take on Banyana.
That one is a rivalry for all the ages.
Well, you played in the 2018 final against the Super Falcons, and I don't need to remind you that they walked away with the trophy, but I might have to do so for the listeners. We are back underway. Cooling break over. It came at just after the half-hour mark of what has been a hugely entertaining start to this Women's Africa Cup of Nations. I was saying earlier that Morocco is becoming the home of African women's football. It's also going to be hosting the Under-17 Women's World Cup later this year. That's the first year in a consecutive run of 5. There is, of course, not just a women's AFCON in this country this year, but also the men's AFCON, which kicks off in December. And then in 5 years' time, the World Cup itself will be returning to African soil for the first time since South Africa hosted it in 2010. The difference this time being that Morocco co-hosting with Spain and Portugal, and the early part of the competition in what is the centenary year for the Men's World Cup, with matches played in Argentina and Uruguay and Paraguay as well. But it's women's football that is the focus for now. Worth mentioning all those tournaments, though, to show the expanding aim of Moroccan football, and you can't move anywhere in this country without seeing cranes, roadworks, train stations being built just around the corner. You may be able to see at times there's a stadium that is just 100 yards or so away from this arena. That was the one that hosted the Women's AFCON in 2022, the final, and it's being rebuilt for the Men's AFCON later this year and for the World Cup as well. Huge plans in this nation and huge hopes for this team to deliver, as Ouzraoui comes forward down this right-hand side. She's got Draidi to the right if she wants to use her, and finds Draidi ghosting into the boxes. Chebak, but once again Nachula does exactly what she needs to do, showing her years of maturity to read the challenge, and then dispossessed and losing out to Draidi. Some physical challenges coming in, one from Kundananji, but too strong for the likes of the referee, and Morocco have a free kick.
Yep. Zambia just stamping their authority in that midfield, really fighting throughout those duels. Gerardi, I think, tactical awareness, does incredibly well to just peel off from that main central attack and focus to allow the likes of Chebak to come in and occupy those spaces.
Well, as you can see, Kundananji getting the ball there, but Draidi instantly complaining. Whatever the case, Morocco have a free kick. They've struggled to get in behind down the flanks tonight, Morocco. When they've come more centrally, they've had more joy with their passing football in and around the edge of the box. We just haven't seen too much of it. Swung in this time by Ait El Haj, headed away by the Zambian skipper Banda. Ait El Haj will have another opportunity, and that's good defending as well. Priska Chilufya, another at Orlando Pride, like Barbara Banda, coming back to show good defensive work and just stopping Morocco again from advancing down this right-hand flank. Tag now, well, she picked up a kick from Chanda but stayed on her feet. Here she goes again. And that's picked up very coolly by Lungu. Up towards Banda it goes, and it's getting physical in the middle between Mrabet and Chilufya. And on this occasion, the free kick, to the despair of some Moroccan players, goes Zambia's way. Important, so important to win the midfield battle, and you can see the commitment from both sides. Yeah, very congested midfield, but of course they have to work as a unit. That is Zambia, not really allowing Morocco to get into those spaces, to play in between the lines. Mwemba looking long on this occasion. Chilufya unable to flick it forward. Mary Willombe. Mwemba will pick this up. Mwemba, who had the honour of scoring Zambia's first ever goal at a World Cup, male or female, given the men have never been there. And she struck against Costa Rica, flicking home a corner early on in that game. Her place in Zambian football history assured. Aziza Rabah into Benzino, who also made history in the World Cup 2 years ago. The first player to ever wear a hijab at a World Cup, some 9 years after FIFA authorised the wearing of head coverings for religious reasons. Had been outlawed before that, and when she did so, she became a role model for many Muslim female footballers. The centre-back for Morocco. And each time they go out wide, they just cannot get past the Zambian fullbacks, which is real credit to them, especially the fact that, as said earlier, they are without Martha Tembo, who's a mainstay of this side. Yep, of course, in your pictures there, Coach Liam from TP Mazembe did exceptionally well during the Champions League. Well, Musole hasn't had too much of the ball, but she's taking her time and just slowing it down, and well, she might. We know that the physicality of the Zambians will take them long into the game, and that they can run all night, and that physicality was being spoken about by Vilda in the press conference, and he said we've got tactics to outwit them, but at the moment the Zambians just too strong. Driving run from Kundananji comes to Nachula, but the referee saying the ball was out of play, and this will be a throw into the Copper Queens deep inside Moroccan territory. Nachula, remarkably not just 39 years of age, but a former athlete as well. She won bronze at the 2008 African Championships over 400 metres. One of two Zambian players in the squad with a background as an athlete as well as a footballer. In it goes. Benzina with the flick. Chebak just hacks it out to the left-hand side to Tagnaut. Yet to really see the best of either Chebak or Tagnaut, and that's credit once again to the Zambians. Well, there was a whistle, but it wasn't from the referee. Banda. This is where she's so dangerous. And twisting, going one way, when the other. There you could see the Moroccan players just scared to put in the challenge.
Yeah, it's a very sensitive or tricky territory in that 18-yard box. You have to really be careful. But Banda taking full advantage of that, knowing very well that the slightest of touches could really go in her favour.
Yeah, she just tiptoed her way forward, almost inviting a challenge, trying to find an opening for a shot as well, but crowded out by a host of Moroccan legs. Mwemba. Nachula. Kundananji on the turn, 117 against another. And now Banda just dispossesses it, takes the ball off the toes of Benzina. And that'll be a Moroccan throw-in. Too heavy a touch from Barbara Banda. Zambia's all-time top scorer. A player who joined Orlando Pride last year and duly led them to their first ever NWSL championship. She was crowned the MVP, the most valuable player. She made it into FIFPro, the Global Player Union's Women's World 11, the first African ever to do so. And it just seems that nothing is too much for the woman who's also Africa's top scorer ever in Olympic history, male or female, with 10 goals and all those hat-tricks, back-to-back hat-tricks at the 2020 Olympics that took place in Tokyo in 2021. And then she scored another hat-trick in Paris last year. She really is a player that any side in the world would want to have. This is more promising from Morocco. A bit of space for Chebak, into the middle it goes. Tagnaut is just over her. Much better from the Atlas Lionesses. We just needed the height of Draidi to aim at rather than Tagnaut, who's known for normally putting it on the plate for others to profit from. There's just space for Chebak. And Tagnaut, who started the game on this right-hand side, has now taken up her more familiar position on the left. Chebak looking to play it into Draidi. And then frustration you can clearly see on the Moroccan skipper as the free kick goes Zambia's way, and it has been a bit of frustration for some of Morocco's key players so far. Yeah,
absolutely, and I think Chebak in particular, she's usually the playmaker, getting into those physical duels with the likes of Kundananji. She doesn't like that. She's the kind of person to dictate the tempo. She's the playmaker of Morocco, but she doesn't seem to be getting on the ball. And if she doesn't get on the ball, the likes of Tagnaut will not really get the supply that they need.
These are the challenges that are facing the World Cup winning coach Jorge Vilda in 5 minutes time or so. Chebak, Ouzraoui, Draidi, an isolated figure up ahead. Aitalhaj just hits it long, and that was really well read by Mwemba. Only as far as Chebak, and she's muscled off it once again. Wilombe, Kundananji now over the halfway line. Drops the the shoulder, even nutmegged. Najat Badri. Morocco win it back, and they're running out of time if they're to get level again before the half-time whistle blows. Lots of space in the middle of the park for Grace Chanda. Another at Orlando Pride. Lungu touches it out wide. Well, they get their time here, Zambia. Show a little bit of game management, but instead they decide that they want to go for more. Benzina heads it away. Chanda just loose with her touch, and then adjudged to a foul. Mrabet, and well, there are calls for a yellow card. And at the moment it just seems a word for Grace Chanda, playing in her third WAFCON, like a few of these Zambia players, those who began in 2018, who made the best 11 last time around. Well, the yellow card does come out. I thought it was just a little word, but then she clearly had a change of heart. Not too much wrong with that challenge. Your thoughts?
I think that follow through just on the shin of Mrabet, that's what the referee saw. I think very dangerous tackle on the shin, but I doubt that it was intentional from Chanda. The ball just seemed to run away from her.
Well, Chanda, the first player to go into the referee's notebook. All yellow cards cleared at the end of the group stage, but if you get 2 before that, you miss the next game. So she will have to be careful in the games that are coming up against Senegal and the Congolese. I said earlier, a key player. Ait El Haj cannot deliver the cross because Nachula, who's really impressed in this opening half, is there to stop it again. That's a nice turn from Uzraoui, and then Chanda gets the block in, and then has the presence of mind to find Banda as well. Banda tussling with Benzina. Down she goes. Excellent striker's play from Banda. Back to goal. Did what she had to do, get it under control, drew the foul, and therefore relieves the pressure. Yep,
using her body really well. Also just complementing the defensive work of Zambia. They are so compact at the back, double teaming on Morocco and the individual players. But once they get the ball, the first option out as an outlet, they use Banda.
And why wouldn't you?
Of course.
With that strength, there'll be 5 minutes of additional time at the end of this terrific opening half on day 1 of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Tagnout. He's come more into the game. That's nice little footwork from her to get away. Chebak, a nice little pass inside as well. Super stuff this from Morocco. And really well read by Mwemba, who finds Banda as well. The Zambian up against 3 Moroccan defenders. Striker goal blocked by Benzina. Still Zambia have it, and still Banda has it. And she goes down under a challenge from Draidi. Well, she... far side, but that was far more promising from Morocco. Really good run by Uzraoui, but there just weren't enough players coming into the area for her to pick out. And then Tagnout, I thought she personally should have got the shot away.
Yeah, I think because it has been end-to-end stuff, the opportunity for Zambia, Banda, I thought could have really just passed over to an open teammate on the far right. Chilufya was quite open, but then again the transition back to turnovers, allowing Morocco to have the momentum once again, but because the numbers were in defense, it's always very difficult to commit numbers forward.
And it's been a fascinating opening half. Kundananji can try to make it 3. Spilled again by Amici. Can Zambia profit? They can't, because she recovers the Moroccan goalkeeper. To spare her blushes, she has had a very, very nervy opening half. She is hugely experienced, the 35-year-old. Twice nominated for CAF's Goalkeeper of the Year, even Player of the Year. But tonight she looks very, very shaky, unusually so. Unusually
so, and it's always just that bounce just before it gets to the goalkeeper that she struggles with. It's the second time now in the game. I think she certainly will really want to do better in the second half.
So midway through the additional 5 minutes. Michi now, I'm sure, might take her time. Very, very dangerous. She spilled the opening goal for Banda. Had little chance with Kundananji's second after 25 minutes or so. 3 goals within the opening half hour of this game. And it'll be really interesting to see the tactical approach taken by both sides and their coaches when play resumes in the second half. Rabet looking forward, looking long. Nachula again. Well, she did the defensive bit well, finding touch when I'm sure she wanted to play along. But she did what she needed to do under pressure from Uzraoui, who set up that all-important goal at the Women's World Cup against Colombia. Likes to get forward Uzraoui, but has found a tough opponent tonight and yet to get the spacing freedom she'll be hoping for. Ait El Haj, Shebak, Tagnaut. Time ticking away. Zambia clear their lines again. Chilufya forward, but it's given away. Mrabet. Excellent tackle from Kundananji to dispossess her, and now look at this barnstorming run from the Zambian goal scorer. She's got options to her right. She plays her in. Can they make it 3? Oh, they can't. A really, really important header. As Zambia threatened once again. Ait El Haj it was. Oh, that was Kundananji almost at her best, showing everything she's about. Presence of mind as well to play her colleague in, Chilufya. And a really, really important bit of defending as well, and not the easiest ball to clear.
Not the easiest at all. Could have easily turned it into her own net, but of course, I think good passes from Zambia. Finally sharing the ball possession once they get into that final third, hoping to get another halftime. Well,
it seemed to come off her shoulder. And she didn't know all that much about it, but it did go clear. Chilufya looking to play it into the middle rather than strike a goal. Mwemba with the header, that's off target. And the 5 minutes are up. And we all wait now for the referee to blow her whistle for half-time. And there it is. And what a half it has been as well. Zambia, who finished third last time around, taking on the beaten finalists from 2022. And Barbara Banda in her first ever WAFCON game. Needed less than a minute to open the scoring, but Morocco replied. A penalty from Draidi, levelling matters just 10 minutes later. And then after 25 minutes, Rachel Kundananji restored Zambia's lead. A final thought from you on that opening half?
I thought Zambia played really well, did really well to stick together as a unit, remain compact. They won most of the 1v1 duels, which was really important for them to get the likes of Kundananji and likes of Banda on the transition.
The thoughts of Amanda Dlamini, and she'll be licking her lips about what may be coming in the second period. But at half-time here in the Olympic Stadium in Rabat, it is Morocco 1, Zambia 2.
This is Racing Today Mzansi.
Your favorite horse racing show with more action. You have to bet for the winning horse.
You can bet on the fact that me and my squad will be going out of our way to fill up your wallets and broaden those smiles.
Experience the exhilarating horse racing competition in the land by tuning into Racing Today every weekday at 5. Catch all this action everywhere for everyone on SABC Plus and SABC Sport. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
It's an absolute incredible vibe here down at Hollywood Bets Grable. You can see everyone has descended upon Durban this weekend.
Twin runners flag, man. See it again, actually eased it up.
Every trainer, every jockey, every breeder wants to win this race because they want to etch their name in history.
This is the 2025 Hollywood Bets Durban July. Experience all the glitz and glamour this Saturday, 5 July at 1 p.m. Live on S3. Also available on SABC Plus. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
60 years ago, I embarked on a journey to understand the places and the people of this amazing planet we live on. But time moves on, and so do we. Now I'm going back to see what happened to the places and the people I used to know. All these years later, what remains of the wild places? Is there still time for us to make a difference on this small planet? The longest snake in the world.
A remarkable and thought-provoking documentary series, Wild World Diaries. Friday, 7:30, SABC 2.
It's a Confederation of African of Football Total Energies, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. In the first 45 minutes played, it's 3 goals scored, 2-1 to Zambia at the moment. There it is, out in Rabat, where this match is taking place. As you can see, the stadium packed out with people enjoying great football. The Zambians taking it to the Moroccans and leading them in the first minute, where Barbara Banda, as expected, in her first match since being denied the last AFCON, scoring the opener in her first goal and then assisting in the second. There was to be controversy a little bit later on with a penalty call. VAR decides it is a penalty. We'll take a look at that even more. Welcome to it. If you're just joining us, it's a big match. It's the opener of the WAFCON 2-1 at 45 minutes. Let's take a look at the stats of this match and how it's played out in the first 45. Anna Monati is with us. Canelo is with us, as well as Walter is here. 65% of the position to the Moroccans. I wouldn't have thought so, but only 34% of it going to Zambia. The important one, though, is the shots on goal. 4 for Zambia, and the only one that mattered is the goal penalty from Morocco.
Surprising as well, but I can say it is accurate. I've looked at what Morocco has been doing. I'm a bit disappointed with Zambian structure and the tactical plan that they have, where they're just targeting Banda at this point, overlapping and overseeing the other line, which is the middle third. So Morocco definitely playing the ball more in the wing, where there's combination passes from the left. And I think if Zambia is not well organizing the defense, a lot more goals are going to come from those build-ups and combinations from the left wing.
What you're saying might speak to the accuracy there, Anna, because they're a lot more accurate, are the Moroccans, because I could assume they're playing shorter passes than what we're seeing from the Zambians who are looking for Barbara, as what Kinelo is saying.
Yeah, I think it's some Moroccans. But how Shaba Zambia team, each and every player how win a ball. Ushibile long polo ko Barbara or Gundanaji up front. That is why they managed to score early goal. First minute. So it's one of those things that Morocco, I pressurize the ball. And then defense Habana is like, on 6s and 7s. So I think that's when you see Walter will show them.
Well, before we even go to Walter, let's take a look at it perhaps. This is the goal. Very early onwards, in the first minute, we hadn't even settled down here. We had just given the game over. Barbara Banda scores her first goal, her opener here. A power move, this.
Sure, Shebatung. Look, for me, this was unexpected. However, it's a normal situation that happens, especially you are the host, it's a first game. Still not switched on mentally. So this is more of a mental situation more than anything else, but also the organization of the defense. I mean, you have 4 individuals around one player and the goalkeeper as well, not stepping in to support. So I think this was not so much of a shocker, but a bit disappointing from Morocco.
The 25-year-old whose NWSL stats are 13 matches, 8 goals and 1 assist this season, showing exactly why she is the power that she is. Let's go to Walter. Walter, you're standing there because you want to look at it. Technology.
Yeah. So if you really look at what really happens here, Andile, a simple clearance that is being played. Firstly, the first line is breached. When the ball is played, the first line is breached. It gets on to the second line. The 3 defenders of Morocco, you've got Rabat, you've got Benzani, all of them supposed to tuck in that area, put pressure on the ball. They don't do that when they have the opportunity to do that. But besides that, again, you see the distance and the space behind the defense is very, very big. And when that happens, it means the keeper has to be alert and get the right position for her to be able to head there. Again, they're now in 6 and 7. Says El Haj doesn't know what to do. She then decides, let me take a shot. But look at the keeper. She's still rooted in the box. A little bit of a movement in front should have helped this one. Of course, going down again is a bit of a problem. So Morocco defensively are having lots of challenges.
Yeah, they're going to be asking questions of the goalkeeper as well, the Kaija El Hachi. That ball, many would have said, you could have reached that, you could have gotten that.
I think I'm going to echo what the TD has said. If she had gotten closer as soon as she realized that the defense, I mean, at some point one of the centre backs was giving her back to Banda. So the goalkeeper, if she's closer, she's able to cover and close the angle and make it a bit more difficult for her. But the fact that she was in her rest and sleeping, I mean, the outcomes.
We know because that's their strength. They're very quick, they're very skillful up front. But consider as well. They've conceded 11 in their last 5. They concede 2.5 goals in every game. It was to be the same. This time around, a defensive blunder in conceding a penalty.
Yeah, that was not a good thing because as earlier the goalkeeper ya Zambia, he anticipated the problem before if it go 18 high. Because you look at the number 10, Chanda.
Yeah.
Chanda, I mean, come 18. She's not a marker. She's not a defensive player because of the really. Why utekila goalkeeper supposed to come out and command that area? Honestly speaking, but at the end of the day, because there's lack of communication, you can tell even this Mwambe. She's just like a ball watcher. I mean, you cannot do that. Zambia,
this decision, no question about it.
No, it's a good decision.
Great penalty.
No, it's a good decision.
Great penalty that Ibisten Zrati there, scoring the 22-year-old who plays the football for Al Ahly, scoring that goal there. Great taken penalty that.
Definitely a good one. And I think we commented earlier on offline to say the physique of the goalkeeper as well, you know, maybe might be a bit of a challenge. She looked like she has picked up or put on some weight. So, but it's definitely, we cannot take away from the technique of the person that took the penalty.
At 1-1, it's game on. But Zambia said, we're going to take the game by a scrotum. We're going to make sure that we get into this in the 45 minutes in the lead. It's Barbara Banda once again, though, that is the active player and gets an assist here. So in 45 minutes of her first WAFCON, since the last one she was denied, it's an assist and a goal, Anna.
If you play against Barbara Banda, you need to make sure that you apply high pressing. Don't give him anybody a ball because her strength, she can control the ball. High ball, even on the ground, she's so balanced. So what do you need to do from this team, Morocco? Play high pressing. Don't allow her to create any services. But Kondanaji, number 17, she's so smart. Look the way she's running. She knows, because they know each other, these two players. Or if it's Horiki Banda, then her option. She's not running straight. She goes as if she's go outside the box and they just play the ball on her path. And then she's so composed, she can't miss it.
Yeah, I think if Zambia is going to, what just happened now, if they can repeat that and not put all the weight onto Banda, they can score more goals, because it looks like that is the game plan for this match, looking at the group and then trying to score as many goals in the first encounter so it eases the pressure off you when it comes to the next matches. But what just happened now, where Banda comes in, where now she brings with her about 2 more defenders from Morocco, which creates the space behind. Then there could be support either coming from the left and the right. And then if she plays through, then a lot of these opportunities can happen and the scoreline can definitely change.
Walt, you looked at it as well.
Look, similar situation, where there's direct verticality. Again, the ball that is played beats a lot of players who are in that area. But similar to what happened. But what's also key here is that Kandananji then decides to come and make a run right on the inside. I think that's a big lesson for the young players who are sitting at home. Like again, in the first area there, many players are beaten by one pass that goes directly, again, as we know, to Barbara. Barbara gets the ball, then decides to turn, but Kandananji is very, very clever. Gets, again, in that area there. El Taj is supposed to come on the inside, you know, because she has to be goal side. Doesn't decide to be goal side. But again, the space behind the defense is very, very big again. The keeper is not alert. she's not communicating with the defense. And again, Kananaji has the simplest of goals to score, because as much as pressure behind, but then she gets into the beautiful goal from Zambia. Again, from what we spoke about, the two most important players, Kananaji and also Barbara there, combining together there. But again, the Moroccan defense is in tatters.
Both playing their football in the US. She plays for Bay, where she's played 13 games, scored only 1 goal with 2 assists this season. But she played her best football. You have to check back to Madrid, where in 43 matches she scored 33 goals. So she's a dangerous player there. But you guys keep saying the same thing, and I think the next instance we get in the 39th minute, this best articulates, Walter, how they're playing. And this is what, you know, the two ladies have been saying.
Yeah.
It's give the ball to Barbara all the time.
Yeah.
She's a focal point, very, very important, because she's mobile. She has ability to stay central and also to come to the side. But again, her technique on the ball is excellent. So that's why they look for her. And again, she's very, very strong. So it's important that Morocco has to find a way in the second half to be able to deal with her. Either try to man mark a little bit, or again, maybe try to guide her to areas where she's not powerful.
Yeah.
What happens in the second half? Morocco, they 2-1 down. They're at home. The pressure's on them. They're the runners-up from the last one. What do they do differently in the second half?
I think they just need to make sure that tactically they stay compact. They don't allow Zambia to play, and then they substitute they have Sarah. Why I'm bringing Sarah? Sarah can come and assist Chebak in the midfield, because they are playing good football. But at the end result, 18, they can't finish, because Zambia is a team high strong. But somebody, they go direct, they don't go wide, because this is what Moroccan play. They play, vertical, which is not good for a team to, if you really want to win the first game. You need to play direct, show that I want to score goals.
Zambia, they're in the lead. They're still not compact. They're still not great defensively. How do they keep this lead?
For me, Andile, if you look at the second goal, Zambia is good technically, and that's exactly what happened. By virtue of them trying to build up, it actually delayed the pass to Banda, which then drew out the Moroccan, and as soon as they played, that's when the opportunity came. So if they can start to play more combination passes instead of now targeting her, I think then that could definitely bring out some...
There's more goals that are waiting for us in the second half. But remember that the game might be heating up, but you can trust Shield to keep you dry and fresh for longer. You bring the heat, Shield brings the freshness. It won't let you down. Let's go back to Rabat.
So the teams coming back out onto the pitch for the second half of this opening game of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The one which is absolutely intriguing. Morocco, the host nation, just struggling at present to cope with the power presented by Zambia, and particularly their dynamic duo up front, Banda and Kundananji. Their game yet to fully click. The Atlas Lionesses. What will the words of Jorge Vilda have made? And that's Nora Hauptlet on your screen. She said in yesterday's press conference that you could see the bullishness and hear it. She said, we're really hoping for a full stadium. It's a joy to be able to start this tournament against Morocco. We are very hungry, the players and me, to hunt for a title, and they have certainly shown that desire in the opening period. Zambia, who have kicked us off, playing from left to right, and hungry, I'm sure, for more goals. Chilufya instantly down this right-hand side and instantly winning a corner as well. Positive start from the Zambians, just as it was in the opening minute of the game. And Banda fired home from the edge of the box. Amici on your screen should have done better. Chanda with the outswinger for Zambia. Headed back in, and this time Michi comfortably gathers with both hands. And I wonder what on earth might have been said to her during the break. What do Morocco need to do differently in the second half, Amanda Dlamini?
I think more options moving forward to really try and unlock that defense of Zambia. But of course, a little bit of control in the final third entries, kind of passes, the accurate passing that they need to unlock the likes of Taknahu to contribute a little bit better. We haven't seen that much of the crosses that they like, the cutbacks that they usually have, because they don't commit as many numbers.
And they just simply haven't been given time to play.
Yep, I think Zambia have really done well. Every time there's a ball, they quickly get onto the opposition to really try and regain that ball possession.
Amici just plays it out to Aziza Rabat. Another 39 years of age. The player on the ball now, just stepping out of defence. Another with AS FAR, as is this lady, Benzina. Plays it back to her club teammate. To another one with AS FAR, Redouani. Tagnaud. Well, she once tried to leave AS FAR last year to go to Sevilla in Spain, but only lasted a couple of months or so before deciding it wasn't for her and returning to her club. Benzina just touching it back, and has she got enough on it? Hesitation from Amici, she didn't come off. There was a promising opportunity and it simply wasn't taken down the left-hand side for Zambia. Just simply not enough on the ball into the middle from Kundananji. Well, Amici thought about going, didn't, and at that point Morocco were in danger, and you can see that she's cross with herself, Kundananji, because that wasn't what we've come to expect from her.
Yeah, I know she probably thinks she could have done better. In that moment, she could have just at least taken a bit of time to herself.
Well, it was a very, very presentable opportunity for the Copper Queens. Player goes down just outside the area. Well, the referee thought about putting the whistle to her lips, and she does now. Banda protesting, saying that she wanted the foul at Uzraoui, clearly insinuating that the Zambia skipper took a dive. Let's have a look here. This is Kundananji clashing with Uzraoui. Physical from Kundananji. You can clearly see that right arm pushing out, but Banda is arguing something different, that she was fouled earlier. No dice for her. Interesting always to hear Banda speak. She, as said, wins accolade after accolade, individual honour after individual honour, but she's always very quick to praise the collective and the team, and that's a really good sign when you've got a big star on your side.
Yep, big star, great leadership, the humility as well. I think it keeps the team very united and together. But of course, like in the first half, we saw the likes of Chanda in that midfield really working hard, Lungu as well. Rarely haven't seen her on the ball, but the work that she does just to really break down the play of Morocco, she's really, really influential.
Benzina in possession for the Moroccan side, whose passing game looked slick at times in the first half when they had 2/3 of the possession, but we just did enough. Chebak trying to change that, back heels it into Redouani, players in the middle, hit long, and they will keep this alive, and that's a really important header by Kundananji, not just doing the attacking stuff but the defensive too. What a first touch that was from Banda, driving forward again and trying to play it into Chanda, but only finding a figure in red. And Belemu into Lungu. Wilombe into Banda. Nice little interplay between Banda and Kundananji. Chanda's in the middle. This has to be cleared. Really important clearance from Rabat, who does so again. And they are nervy at the back, Morocco. And they just don't know how to live with Kundananji, Banda, Chilufya, and you would begin to think from some of their play that it's affecting them mentally.
Yeah, and because they've chosen to really go with almost 3 centre-backs, but now gone back to 4, they're really afraid to move up and to leave those spaces behind.
So that's the change spotted by Amanda Dlamini, the former South Africa international, over a century of caps, 4 WAFCONs she appeared in, 2 finals, and giving us her thoughts as several other former prominent African women's footballers will be doing during the course of this 3-week tournament. Redouane, Tagnaut, Rabat on the field, having not played in 2022 despite being part of the squad. Benzina, meanwhile, her first WAFCON, despite having made her debut back in 2017. Chebak, nice turn from her. Looking to the right-hand side. It was Rowie, who's been lively, but always hasn't had the joy she wants. Well, that was better from her, but once again, she just couldn't deliver it into the middle because her attempted ball in smothered and blocked by Wilombe. But she's looked one of the most likely, as we see Morocco's male coach in the stands, the man who led the North Africans to the semi-finals of the World Cup in 2022. Watching on with, I'm sure, a little bit of concern as to what exactly this side in front of him can do to get back into the game. Walid Regragui, the former international, of course. Lungu. Chilufya, nice little touch from her to bring it into Banda. Kundananji steaming in. Banda still in possession, into Chilufya. Touched back, striker goal from Lungu, and just whistles wide of Amichi's left-hand post. Well, that could have been 3. Really nice move from the Zambians. Good passing stuff from them. Good interplay. And this was not far away. A little deflection off the Moroccan defender, could have taken it in. But that was another bright move from the Copper Queens.
Yeah, bright move indeed. This time around, seeing Lungu at the top of that 18-yard box for the first time in the match, which means that I guess the instructions from the coach in the change room really emphasized on really sharing the ball once they get into that final third.
Banda always seemingly having time on the ball. Always a mark of a good footballer. Chanda unable to keep that in. Redouane just gets on with it. Well, you would think that Morocco just need a little bit more presence up top. We know that Draidi can deliver and score the goals. He has no problem doing that. And this is much better. Nice down the left-hand side, and Tagnaut just won't keep that in. And she just needs to be brought into play, and possibly she looks a little isolated at times. It just need players closer around her to bring her into play.
Totally agree. She is isolated as opposed to, I guess, Ozrali on the other side. There's always triangles in and around her, and therefore she can really get out of those tough situations, whereas with Tagnaut, it's a little bit difficult for her.
Well, here is Tagnaut, bodies in the box, and the room to deliver the cross, and for once crossing lets her down, and she puts her head back in her hands and looks up at the sky, and she knows that was an opportunity. And look, she's still wincing in disbelief because she's a better player than that.
Yeah.
Fatima Tagnaut, 26 years of age now. Another who made the team of the tournament last time around. Well, the home fans literally trying to drum up support and to get their team going. It is not a packed stadium inside this 21,000-seater arena. You can see some seats dotted around where Morocco played the final in 2022. They attracted what was a record crowd for a women's game in Africa, just over 50,000. And pretty much nearly all of them were there 2 hours before kickoff. And we'll be thinking about that now. Zambia looking to make it 3. Banda with the header. And Mishi, so grateful to see that loop up kindly after deflecting of one of her teammates. And they just pick off the Moroccan defence at will sometimes in Zambia. We saw the first half statistics, just a third of the ball, but they had 6 shots, 4 on target, just to Morocco's 1, and that shows just what they're all about.
Yep, very intentional when they go forward. Love to play in between the lines. In that case, a defense splitting pass that could have really been a danger. But once again, we see the physicality from Chilufya on Tagnout, and it just sums up Tagnout's game this evening. Really, she hasn't really had much of space at all.
Chilufya, the second player into the book, both of them from Zambia. Chanda, the other. They'll try and switch it out wide. Nachula once again equal to it. Based in Israel, with Hapoel Katamon Jerusalem, Rachel Nachula. And she's done a really good role in filling in at left back for Tembo. Morocco trying to find their way back in. Shebak, tag now, little touch inside, looking for Draidi. Cut out once again by the Copper Queens. Mrabet now. Shebak just trying to find some space, but it's so hard against this Zambian side. Redouani. And again, the Moroccan fullback. Shebak, Tagnout. Mrabet back into Shebak. Little spin away. Dispossessed once again, and now Zambia look to counter. Oh, just a heavy touch there, too heavy I thought it was, but no, it's still alive. Chilufya with Banda down in the middle. It's just Kundananji in the middle. Important header from Benzina. And Banda just feeling the effects of that challenge. And hobbling, but moving just a little easier, but she's going to hope she can run this off.
It's incredible how Zambia are just so quick to get into the opposition's half. Once again, across from Rachel. A good save, I guess, in some sort of for Morocco. I thought they could have really done well to get that first ball out.
Well, I thought that came off Redouani before going into Amici, but it was actually the goalkeeper who got a double touch. Once again, not the most convincing play from the Moroccan number one. Tagnout. This is better driving run from her. Redouani to her left. She plays it into Redouani. But they've taken their time and allowed the Zambian players to get back. Shebak now. Morocco looking for a little bit of inspiration. Mrabet. Head out wide by Badri. Ouzraoui, that's nice. Can they deliver the cross into the middle? Yes, they can, but they can't beat Lushoma Mwemba, who just hacks it away up towards the halfway line, and Banda chasing it down even though it looked a lost cause, but that sums up the spirit in this Zambian side.
Yeah, I think the defense have really been very solid, but also just allowing the midfielders to be really compact, to close the passing lines and really deny space and time for Morocco.
Tagnout, delivery into the middle. Once again, not the best cross from her. Well, I wonder how things might change in the next few minutes, because as the hour mark approaches, Sana Massoudi, one of the most talented players in the Moroccan side and surely in African women's football, will be coming on, and she is a real live wire, a box of tricks, loves to get forward, and she can bring just the sort of dynamism that Morocco need right now.
Absolutely, I think they need a live wire just to really spark things up for Morocco, but also very instrumental in those successful dribbles into the third.
Nicely played out by Banda into Chilufya. Striker goal from Chilufya. Redouani will stop it going behind for the corner. And Tagnout under pressure again. They must be sick of the sight of these copper shirts all around them, the Moroccan players, because every time they look up, they will see one just smothering them, closing in on them. And Zambia just haven't really allowed Morocco any time and space, apart from a few rare occasions. So here comes Massoudi, and Mrabet goes off. Yasmin Mrabet. On it comes the 25-year-old, another with AS FAR. 2 goals she scored in 2022. Massoudi, both in the knockouts. Now, our teammates and the nation will hope she can find one in the group stages for the first time. The women's interclub player of 2024, the award given to the best player playing club football on the continent from Africa. Sudi won it last year. She's the reigning Moroccan Women's League Player of the Year as well. I wonder if she had some sort of knock that prevented her from starting, because I must be honest, I was pretty baffled and surprised that she didn't make the starting 11.
Yeah, I don't think that she's usually a starter for Morocco. It's always very difficult to see who is the better performer between her and Taknoud. But I think now it gives them an opportunity to get into a different sort of shape in that midfield. That is Morocco. They go into a double pivot. Badri and Chibak will sit as two sitters and allow Msaudi to be at the top of the triangle.
Well, she was dispossessed. Chilufya into the middle for Zambia. They break so quickly. There is Masoudi winning the ball back, instantly involved in the action. Tagnal forward up towards Draidi. Hit too far ahead of her. Maluba only finding Masoudi, who instantly shows us what she's about, driving through in the midfield. Draidi. Chebak. Oh, she just took a little bit too much time, forced backwards. Banda keeping her keen. Well, they always say when you're playing away from home that you want to keep the crowd quiet, and Zambia absolutely succeeded with that. Masoudi with the left footer swinging. Well, that was better, and it was a very, very important block as well that came in from Mwemba, because she was looking for the bottom right-hand corner, Masoudi, and you can instantly see the movement. It wasn't great defending, and it was a good strike as well, and Morocco have the corner.
Yep, very mobile. You can already see the immediate impact. First shot in out of frustration, and really wants to make a change.
She is all action, the bustling Masoudi. And she's already involved. Zambia wanting to make a change of their own, but they're just going to have to wait. As players jostle inside the area. Frida Mukoma will be coming on, but first there's a corner to defend. Chebak into the middle, into the gullet of Masole, who does really well to get that away. And then Chanda and Chilufya. Well, they can link up here. There's space on the left-hand side, tons of it. It was Barbara Banda steaming forward in that inside left channel. Not spotted by Chilufya, and Banda's letting her know as well.
Yeah, the final pass wasn't the one that Chanda was looking for. I thought they could really try and go into that 2v2 situation.
Well, it is lightning, the speed that Zambia break at. And it does mean that Morocco really have to be on their toes and really on their game as they try and find a way back into this game. A reminder that Zambia won here in Rabat last year in a vital Olympic qualifier. And at present, they got something of a hold against this Moroccan team. Bit of space here for Chebak. Looking for Ouzraoui over the top. That's a lovely ball from Chebak. Mwemba equal to it. Good defending from the 24-year-old. She had to get that right, but that was a lovely pass forward from Chebak. And finally, they did manage to get it in behind the Zambian back line. But once again, Zambian defence doing what it needed to do.
Yeah, that's what Chibak can do. If there's a bit of mobility up front, she's able to bypass the midfield with just one pass forward. I think it was just that bounce when it skids off, because the sprinklers were on during halftime as well. It sort of takes the touch.
Skidding off the surface. Here's Mwemba again, this time Draidi looking to get in on the end of a ball forward for the Moroccans. Well, they're beginning to find a little bit of space. Chebak. Redouani. Rabat. Tagnout. Masoudi ahead of her. Belemu with the block. Well, here comes Mukoma, as we see Jeremy, the former Cameroon international, watching on. Once at Chelsea and Real Madrid, of course. Chalufia's race is run. And on comes a hot young prospect in Zambian football. She's just 18 years of age. She only won her maiden call-up in October last year, did Mukoma, and she scored a hat-trick against Comoros in the COSAFA tournament, the tournament for Southern African nations. It was only in April of last year that she actually got called up by the under-17s, and now she's already based in the People's Republic of China, having joined Beijing in the Chinese Women's Super League, and she is just 18 years of age. A young player of the year in Zambia for the 2023-24 season. 5 goals, 13 assists despite her tender age. So she's definitely one to keep an eye on, and they just seem to be rolling out these footballers, and I'm sure she's been inspired by the likes of Kundananji and Banda. We'll get the thoughts of Amanda Dlamini in a moment as Morocco come forward, tagged out. Well, she was hoping that she wouldn't have to go so wide. Chibak. Redouane. Deep cross in. And Ilungu dispossessed by Masudi. They need more industry, Morocco, more endeavour. And at the moment, Zambia are looking incredibly strong. Morocco with a free kick. Sakina Ouzraoui, the player down. And they've had a couple of opportunities like this, Morocco, but they've yet to make the most of them.
Yeah, I think they just really struggling with those physical duels, trying to break through from that defense, which I think Zambia has really done well to really remain solid and compact. But with the mobility that the likes of Saudi are bringing into that striking force of Morocco, I think there could be prospects for an attack.
There certainly could be. Musole organising her back line. Tagnell standing over it. The likes of Benzina in there. Draidi as well. Scored from the penalty spot, which seems a long time ago now. Deep cross in. And the Zambian head on it once again. And again. And then it's eventually hacked clear. Chebak. Options ahead of her and a little bit of space through the middle. She just couldn't find the pass to Draidi. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. She wins the corner. There's just a little bit of space there. And it needed a more accurate pass, and Morocco could have been in behind. Well, this is certainly not what the home fans came to see. Yet to really threaten it in the air so far. Wilder coming out. The coach trying to lead his charges. Still in there, laid back, striker goal from Tagnaughton. That's very wide and not very handsome. And lashed and sliced. And well, in the moments before this tournament, Jorge Vilda, the Spaniard, under pressure to deliver. He was asked if he felt it as the tournament hosts, and having been runners-up last time around, he said it's not a negative pressure, it's a huge desire to do well. What do you think you'll be making of this display so far?
I think, yes, the WAFCON, and when it comes to WAFCON and AFCON, it's a totally different ball game. There's a lot of physicality. Players don't really like to give you time or space on the ball, so I think Morocco just needs to understand that element, that in as much they like to control the play, they like to get the ball and control and dictate terms, sometimes they have to be a little bit quicker.
It'll be very interesting to see what he learns as the tournament progresses. Nearly 2 years in charge now for Vilda. He had huge success with Spain, not just with the senior team, but with the juniors as well. As that's flicked forward and goes out for what will be a goal kick, but he led Spain to 2 wins in the under-17 Euros in the under-19s as well. They were runners-up in an under-17 Women's World Cup. 17 years in total he spent with Spain's women's side. 8 of them in charge of the seniors, who won their first title under Wilde in 2023. And during that run, they actually met Zambia, and they won by 5-0. It's a very, very different affair tonight. And interestingly, this is not the first meeting between Wilde and Hauptlet, the Zambia coach, either, because they met in the 2018 UEFA Women's Under-19 Championships. Interesting path that they've taken to go from there in Europe to here in Africa. And I'm sure they might have had a few smiley words as they met in the tunnel before the game.
But it's incredible that WAFCON has the potential to attract, you know, the pedigree of such coaches with a wealth of experience.
I think wealth is probably a key word there, given that the riches that Morocco has at its disposal. King Mohammed VI, who delivered a message before kick-off tonight, a huge football fan, and Fouzi Lekja, the president of the Moroccan Federation, as we have another cooling break, has a huge role in organising the kingdom's treasury, and a lot of money has been devoted to football in recent years, and it's really interesting to see how this North African nation has developed and grown and invested so much. And surely we are going to see them, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years time as a real force on the global stage with this amount of investment.
Yep. I think we also had the pleasure and the experience to go see the High Performance Center, which is a state-of-the-art. That on its own, I think, is just an indication as to how seriously they take things. The equity behind the resources put in for the males into the women's as well is just equal. So I think that's progression where football is concerned on the African continent, but more so for Morocco.
Absolutely. Well, it was one of the things that I think appealed to Wilde when he took charge. He said that some of the facilities here are among the best in the world. He said he felt a real desire to develop women's football. He said he was given the means, able to build his staff, which doesn't always happen. His words, not mine. And he said the reception was exceptional. And it's an excellent place to sort of try and build. He says he's done a lot of work, but it's going to take time to see. It'll be really interesting to see how Morocco do in this competition. This is, of course, a big match for them, one of their toughest tests. They will get better. And it's not over yet, of course. Less than 20 minutes to go. But Morocco, at present, struggling to find a way past what has been a really impressive Zambian display. And there's going to be a substitution. Ouzraoui comes off. And coming on, Iman Saoud, who was in the side that played the final 3 years ago. 23 years of age, Saoud, based in France with Nantes. And she will slot in to the midfield and hopefully inject a bit of energy as Morocco go in search of this equaliser. Banda again, it's spilled here, in behind. Well, the referee's whistle has blown. Banda confused. I wondered if it was for offside. Either way, Morocco in possession and coming forward. Tagnal, Draidi down the line. Just tickles it forward to the Moroccan goalscorer, Redouani. Badri. Benzina. Steps forward. There's Benzina. Now that's a lovely pass forward. And it just wasn't read by Saoud, who's taken up a slot on that right-hand side of midfield. Really fine pass forward from the Moroccan centre-back. Shebak. Can she keep up this little bit of momentum for the Atlas Lionesses? Massoudi. Spinning onto her left foot, Massoudi. And straight into the arms of Musole. Well, there was a chance. She didn't take it, but she got a shot away.
Yep. I think that's what you need. Saudi, very skillful, successful dribble. Turns the defender inside out and unleashes a shot with the left foot. Not the power that you would have wanted, but certainly a shot on target.
Not the accuracy either. I think she was aiming for the hand side. Across it goes. Zambia, into the middle it goes. Well, they can convert this, but they can't. Kundananji somehow missing. I don't think it got a deflection. Let's see. Well, Kundananji's down on the ground, but it went from one side of the penalty area to the other. In the blink of an eye, Mukoma, who's just come on, playing it into Kundananji. And concerns here for the Zambian star. Well, it's unclear what happened. Let's have a look at this, because the goal was at her mercy. Under pressure from Benzina. Really important block coming in from Benzina. Let's give her the credit, because yes, it went wide, but that was a vital bit of defending. Otherwise, Zambia might well have been 2 goals clear and possibly wrapping up the game.
Yeah, an important touch indeed. I don't think that the Moroccan defense saw Mukoma creeping in on the blind side.
No, they certainly didn't. And, well, concern here for Kundananji, and it's nice as well to see the Moroccan players showing concern for the Zambian. There hasn't been any real needle in this game whatsoever. Well, Grace Chanda is off, and coming on is Kabange Mupopo, 32 years of age. Will play in the final third. And she was the other athlete I was talking about earlier, winning gold in the 400 metres at the 2015 All-Africa Games. And while there's a break in play, I believe you once wanted to be an athlete, Amanda.
Yes, at some points in my life, I thought athletics was my first love. And just even speaking about Mupopa, oh man, she terrorized us. And I think that was a clear indication that she was really destined for maybe athletics or even a brighter future in football.
Well, she's on the field now. And she does have a pretty remarkable record for her nation, because she competed in the Rio 2016 Olympics. Her athletics career was soured by failing a doping test in 2017. She argued her innocence, saying it was because of naturally high testosterone levels. And then 8 years after Rio, where she competed, as said, in athletics, she was back playing football in the Olympics, so competing in 2 different sports at the Games, which is a phenomenal achievement for any athlete. And she is on now for just over 10 minutes or so. I love it. So she used to play against you, and you were absolutely terrified as she just steamed past you.
Oh man, she was just brilliant, very explosive. The speed that she had, the control of the ball as well.
Well, she's, as said, the wrong side of 30 now. So some of that pace may well have diminished considerably. But we'll see what she's got to offer in these closing moments. Chebak forward to Masudi. Good run from Masudi to give Chebak the options, but the pass just wasn't good enough, and not for the first time tonight a Moroccan player remonstrating with herself. This time it's Chebak, as we see the dignitaries watching on. It's the members of the Confederation of Football's Executive Committee and Patrice Motsepe, the president from South Africa, in the middle. Well, no goals in this second period after that blistering start to the first. Kundananji just had gone off the pitch, waiting to be invited back on. Impatiently so. Play is underway, despite the fact that the ball had gone out of play. And she's still waiting for acknowledgement from the referee, who's still not quite giving it. Well, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Hautala, the Zambia coach, showing her displeasure. And Kundananji still, for the moment, is off the pitch. And now, finally, she is on it. Redouane. Less than 10 minutes to go for Morocco to avoid defeat in this opening game. And that's nicely forward, and that's another really important tackle from Mwemba. who's been very, very solid at the back tonight for Zambia, because whenever Morocco have got in behind, she's snuffed it out.
Yep, she's tightened things at the back, just getting to the end of those loose balls and just clearing her lines, making sure that she protects the goalkeeper.
She's been very, very impressive. Mwemba, based in Turkey with Hakariguju Sport. Played at both Olympics for Zambia. And she has really been a skipper of sorts at the back for Zambia. What do Morocco have left? And Zambia look forward into Mupopo, Benzina, up towards Masoudi. Nice little chest off her to lay it off. Badri, Chebak, inside the fullback, Tagnaut. Can Morocco use this? Oh, they can't, because Tagnaut has blazed it over. The goal was gaping at her mercy. Was that the chance for Morocco? Well, they get another. That was as good as they've had all game from open play. Superb play from Chebak. Absolutely the ball you want, and Tagnaut just couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, the weight of the pass, defense-splitting pass as well from Chebak to Tagnaut. I thought she could have really done better with the finish. She tried to lob the goalkeeper, just couldn't really get it in the back of the net.
Well, the bottom right-hand corner was gaping. He opted, as Amanda Dlamini says, for height instead. I'm not sure that was the right choice. And I'm sure Musole in the Zambian goal would have been hugely relieved not to even be forced into making a save.
Yeah.
Chebak, though, showing us what she can do when given space. She's steadily improved, and I'm sure she's absolutely desperate to ensure her side don't lose this game. They beat Burkina Faso in the opening game 3 years ago, Morocco, by 1-0. It was tense, but it set them on their way. They won all 3 group games in 2022, the Atlas Lionesses, and whoever tops this group will stay here in the capital, Rabat. Whoever goes through in second place will move to Casablanca for their quarter-final. And to the competition's biggest arena, that's the Labi Zaouli Stadium, which can seat 30,000. I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem for Morocco to fill should they get there, but they may well find, unless they can do something in the time remaining, that is what happens to them. As said, games against Senegal and DR Congo to follow respectively. Those two sides meeting tomorrow in Mohamedia. But Morocco will desperately want to salvage something here. The group positions decided on head-to-head. That's above goal difference, so a Zambian win would really put them in pole position in the group just after one game, with the expectation being that they will have the strength and power to see off the Senegalese and Congolese. But we've learnt in watching football over the years never to take anything for granted, as Elodie Nakash gets ready to come on for the Moroccans for the last 5 minutes or so. Masoudi, Badri, wayward from Badri when the forward pass was on. They will have to build again from the back. Rabat in possession. Tagnaut flicking it forward, looking for Draidi. And Malouba just clears that away. Tagnaut showing a bit of urgency, really wants to get Morocco moving. Draidi trying to play it into Chebak. Masoudi takes it off the toes of a Zambian. Chebak shooting opportunity here, but just crowded out, couldn't get the shot away. And Ait El Haj knocks it in, and Mwemba just guides it out. And goal kick for Zambia. And just for a moment, it looked as though Chebak might have a sighter on goal. But once again, Zambia just getting bodies in the way.
Yeah, I think they're really good with that counter press. They want to make sure once the opposition gets the ball, they're quicker, the first ones to get there to pressurize the ball.
Well, changes here. Off goes Jaidi. The Moroccan goal scorer, and also Badri, who won the penalty for Morocco. Coming on, Elodie Nakash will slot right into the middle of midfield, the 30-year-old. She was a regular in the competition 3 years ago, and Assa Lamari, wearing number 16, will also be on. She scored the crucial winner against Colombia at the Women's World Cup 2 years ago to take Morocco through at the expense of two-time champions Germany, would you believe? And they need something in Morocco, and they don't have long to get it. Here is Nakash, just bosses it in the heart of that midfield. And she's won aside a free kick as well. Instantly just settled in, so used to seeing Nakash over the years with Morocco. Very calm player in the middle of the park.
Yep. And I think that's what they need right now, someone who can really give them that calm. But once again, just they're trying to get as many options to get the ball onto Chebak to release those passes. And Saudi's been doing really well with the mobility, and this is where Morocco can be dangerous, just in those moments, the final stages of the game.
Rabat doesn't play it into the middle, but plays it to the side. Now it comes in, headed long, deep up towards Benzina. Chebak. Striker goal from Chebak. Oh, that is wonderful for the Moroccan skipper. And how the Atlas Lionesses needed that. And all the bench charge off. And Gislan Chebak has fired home a beauty from outside the area to bring Morocco back into a game in which they have been outplayed, outfought and outthought at times. But a moment of individual brilliance might just keep them alive, and their dreams of topping Group A alive. What a moment from Gislan Chebak. Amanda Domini, your thoughts?
Yeah, no one else. Hence the changes that the coach has been roping in. They want to get Chebak free so that she can get on the ball, and immediately, once she gets on the ball, she calmly slots it away. She just chooses a spot. Not too much pressure or pace behind the ball, but just picks a spot.
Well, she had had that moment just a minute or so ago where she thought about a strike, and look at that. Picture perfect from Chebak, knew exactly what she was doing. And the execution, for once, was brilliant. Look at that. Musole, absolutely no chance from her. A stunning goal from Gislan Chebak. The player of the tournament at the 2022 WAFCON has scored a hugely important goal, and now everything has changed inside the Olympic Stadium, and there's a huge belief that Morocco can go on and win this. The fans urging them forward. Masoudi cannot get the end of that cross, but still players in the air, 4 in there now. Well, this is not the finish that Morocco were looking like just moments ago. Not for the first time, Zambia just take the ball off their toes and try and come forward. Benzina back to Mishi. Well, we had a barnstorming opening to this game. Are we going to get a dramatic finish as well? Just a minute of the 90 to go, and then it's all about how much additional time is added on. And you can hear the crowd come alive, because they had been soporific for the last half hour or so. Whistles as Zambia come forward. Kundananji recovered from that little knock, tries to drop the shoulder, muscled off it, and well, they're back in the game, the fans. I mean, let alone the team. Where was this support when they needed it? It's the players on the pitch who have inspired the support from the home side.
Yep. This is the influence of the 12th man when they really get behind Morocco, but the players really had to get themselves out of that rut. Really had to trust the coach as well to ring in the changes when it was necessary. And like I said, this is where Morocco are quite dangerous, just towards the end of the game.
Well, we're about to see how many additional minutes there are. And there are going to be 4. And what a moment it would be if one of these sides could then win this game. And I said the head-to-head's so important, and Morocco have salvaged that. And there is belief coursing through them. Lamari. Can she deliver the cross? Ait El Hajj overlapping. Here is the fullback, Mwemba. She couldn't stop that one. Chebak again. Tag now to her left, Masudi in the middle. And just plays it back to the edge of the area. And that catch goes down. But despite the displeasure of the bench and the fans, and all the remonstrations from Moroccans, no decision given by the Ugandan referee. Banda now on the charge. Plays it into Mukoma, who just was unaware of Masudi, and Masudi comes on and goes forward. Well, she certainly didn't mean to do that, but she's held on to the ball. Nakash, space on the left for Tagnell, who is found, and Chebak picks it up. 90 seconds or so played of the additional 4. And Chebak looking forward, and Musole just allowing that to run out of play. They say goals change games, but this one has hugely changed the approach and mindset of this Moroccan team as we see that stunning goal from Chebak. Such a sweet connection. Elevation absolutely spot on. Getting the height and dipping under the crossbar.
Yeah.
Well, she is a poster girl for Moroccan football, and I'm sure she may have inspired quite a few more of the next generation with a goal like that. A wonderful moment. And will it be enough, or will they go on and build on it? Lamari through the middle. Chebak. And that'll be a throw Morocco's way. Just over 90 seconds to go. Some tired bodies out there now. Well, the chance, where was this support, as said. Chebak gets it back. Chebak, only one in the middle. It's got to be deep, and it's headed away by the Zambian back line. That's a nice touch as well for Mukoma, the 18-year-old, showing us what she's about. Trying to play it into Banda. Well, not Banda, excuse me, that was into Mupopo. But too hard to hit, but she's a really exciting player to watch, Mukoma, the 18-year-old.
Yeah, no, of course. Blistering pace, giving width to Zambia, but just in that one, final pass fails her.
Kundananji into Banda. Yanda into the middle. Benzina with the smallest of touches that Ait El Haj then puts out on the far side. And it's Zambia doing the pushing in the final 30 seconds of this game. We thought it was going to be intriguing, and it's proved to be exactly that. Mupopo onto her left foot, 2 in the middle if she can find them, and Zambia are going to have a corner, and they're going to have to hurry to take this because there is not much time on the clock, and every single outfield player for the Zambian side is in the Moroccan half. They're just going to leave 2 outside the box, and then the corner taker as well. A chance for them to restore their lead for what would be the 3rd time in the game, and clinch victory surely as well. Mary Wilombe will take this, and a host of Zambian bodies in the area. Can they get the header and the touch that they want, or will they have to settle for the draw? In swinger from Wilombe, headed away, crucially so, by Rabat. Is that enough? Tagnell forward, and not finding Chebak. And the referee in the centre of the pitch puts her whistle to her lips to blow full time on a brilliant game between these two sides. Morocco runners-up in 2022, finding a late equaliser to deny Zambia, who took bronze last time out, what would have been a vital win and really set them on their way. As it is, it's a point apiece, and it means that both these sides have it all to do when they go against Senegal and the Congolese in their future games to see who can outscore and outpoint the other group. It was Banda who opened the scoring early on with her first ever Minitan goal of WAFCON action. Draidi leveled matters from the spot. Kundananji restored Zambia's lead, and then just as when it looked as though Moroccan efforts had died a death, their skipper Chebak scored a stunning goal to ensure that this opening game of the Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations ended in a draw. A final thought from you, Amanda Delavini, on what has been a hugely entertaining game.
Yeah, I thought Zambia will be very disappointed in conceding in the critical phase of the game, but of course a great comeback, showing great character from the Moroccans.
Oh, what a start to Group A and what a start to this WAFCON. It has ended at the Olympic Stadium. Morocco 2, Zambia 2. Well,